What's up YouTube, Jeff back again from DopeTechDaily.com. Today I'm bringing you guys a video about the newly announced Samsung One UI. Now Samsung announced the new One UI at their developer conference today, along with their new foldable phone concept, which should come to market sometimes next year. Now I've been using Samsung One UI for quite a while. Those of you who've been following my beta coverage of Android Pie for the Galaxy Note 9 and the Galaxy S9 Plus already know all about this. So if you've already covered all of that and you've watched all those videos, you may not want to watch this one. It's just a recap of the biggest 5 features that are in Samsung One UI for all the people out there who are finding about these things today, and also some of my experience in using it. Now, if you do want to flash the Android Pie beta, the early version, I'll drop a link below to my tutorial and also the XDA article written by Max Weinbach. So here are the 5 things that I think are the biggest draws in Samsung One UI. The first one is dark mode, which you guys will see here as I go ahead and scroll down the settings. You can see that there is a system-wide dark mode in Android Pie running Samsung One UI here on the Galaxy Note 9. Now, if you go into settings, you'll notice the dark mode is also applied through here. You've also got a new card style of settings, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. If you go into display, that's where you can turn on the night theme. It's right there. If you turn it off, you'll see you get blasted with quite a bit of white. This is what it will look like if you're using the light theme instead of the night theme. Now personally, I like to leave the night theme on all the time. Since I've been using One UI on the Galaxy Note 9, I found it really convenient to leave it on day or night. It just looks better in my personal opinion. If you swipe over, you'll notice that Bixby Home also has the night theme, sort of a black backdrop there, and the card style interface, which I'll talk more about in a second. I definitely think night theme is going to be a big draw for people using Samsung One UI. I would like to see them add different accent colors. Currently, this blue color is really all you have to work with. You will notice the brightness slider here at the bottom. That's also a feature of the One UI, making things easier to reach one-handed with your thumb, especially when using a big phone like the Galaxy Note 9. The next thing are gestures. So you probably noticed I was using these from the beginning of the video. If you swipe up, you'll go home, as you can see there. If you swipe here on the left side, you'll get into your recent apps, which you'll be able to navigate around. And if you're in an app, for instance, here I downloaded the wallpaper from Droid Life from today's keynote, you can swipe up from the right side to go back. So the gestures are enabled from inside the settings. Now you can also go ahead and go with the old navigation inside display navigation bar. You can choose between navigation buttons, full screen gestures, and you can also change the button order. There's also a gestures hint option, which will add some lines till the bottom, but I really don't care for those too much. Now, one comment about the gestures so far, since I've been using them, I've found that they're kind of intuitive, except for one problem. If you're using the phone with your left hand, it's very annoying to go all the way over to the right in order to go back. So if you're in browser and you want to go back, you have to go all the way over. If you're trying to use the phone one-handed, it can be difficult. I kind of like the One Plus gestures a little bit better for that. So something for Samsung to improve. Having the recent apps over here on the left side isn't perhaps the best idea. The next thing are redesigned settings and quick settings, which I've already shown you a little bit of. The redesigned settings, of course, have these little colored icons on the side. You do have the dark mode or the light mode, depending on what you're looking at. You can see you've got a card interface, which is kind of hard to see, but it is there. You've got gray on black here for the dark mode, and it is sort of tabbed out with rounded corners. Definitely a new design language. And if you go into the quick settings, you'll also notice the quick settings go all the way to the bottom. Now Samsung says this is on purpose. You've got a focus area up here where you can change your quick tiles, and at the bottom you've got this brightness slider right here where it's easily reachable on the thumb in case you want to change that and you're using a big phone like the Galaxy Note 9. Now this is something they've tried to do throughout the UI, is to make it easier to use the phone one-handed and also easier to focus on the information that you're interested in as the user. Overall, I think they've done a good job with that. There's a few things they could clean up, but overall, I like the look. The next thing is the new app designs and also Bixby Home. So I showed you what Bixby Home looks like. If you swipe over, you've got a nice welcome message. You've got your card interface here, very similar to the settings. I've got my calendar, nearby places on Foursquare. You've got a finder to search for apps, Facebook, weather, Google Play Music. You can add various content settings here, but it's going to look very similar to the settings. It's got that rounded sort of design language in corners for the cards, just like you saw in the settings. So Samsung really trying to redesign their UI and make it look sort of uniform and also give it a fresh modern look, and I think they've accomplished that with most of the things. They've also redesigned some of the apps like the camera, which I showed in my previous video. You've got some different tab layouts here at the bottom. Notice that each of these little tabs also has rounded corners here for the options, which you can scroll and swipe through here at the bottom. Those are all rounded off, very consistent. And if you go into the camera settings, you'll also notice the card layout. Now, one thing I don't like is that the camera settings, if you have dark mode, it has this white background on the black. That doesn't look too great. I wish that would be gray, kind of like the quick settings and also the main settings menu. That would be preferable. A couple of other apps worth noting, the gallery. So if we go into gallery, they've changed the way this looks a little bit. You now have more of a focus area here. You can sort of see things laid out a little bit differently. If you actually tap into a picture, you'll also notice they've again laid it out so that you can find most of the important things you're interested in along the bottom, so it's easy for one-handed UI sort of navigation. I do like that, and I think Samsung is really making progress with making these larger phones manageable as time goes on, especially since the Note keeps getting bigger and bigger. And the final thing is new icon design. So you probably noticed this throughout. It's a little thing, but it is an important thing. You've got a new phone icon, which they've changed many times, a new camera icon. If you go in here, the gallery icon I just showed you is different. The internet icon right there, messages, pretty much all of those. If you go into some of the other Samsung icons, most of these haven't been changed yet, but I would sort of suggest that they're going to get changed by the time they launch One UI officially in January. So quite a few UI changes, calendar, email, game launcher, a lot of icon changes. A lot of people don't like these icons. Personally, I don't like the new icons either. I would kind of like to see Samsung One UI with the old Samsung Experience or TouchWiz icons. I think that would be the perfect sort of blend of modern and classic Samsung design. Anyway, guys, that's my look at Samsung One UI. Again, I've been running this for 3 weeks. I'll keep making some update videos if you guys are interested. The official beta will be dropping later this month, and of course, I'll have videos on that on the Galaxy S9 Plus and the Galaxy Note 9. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Also hit the notification icon below if you want to see future videos like this. You guys can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, at the links in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.